Hello guys, so today I want to talk about how the year 2020 changed me. So with the beginning of 2021, I've had a lot of time to reflect on the past year, how it changed me, how it changed my circumstances, and how it just generally changed me as a person, and all the things that I learned and all the ways in which I grew. First off, I want to start by talking about a brand real quick, a brand that I truly love, that I truly believe in, and that I genuinely use and genuinely love. So the brand is called Active Fresh, and this is a hand sanitizer of theirs that I have previously bought and used. As you can see, it's completely empty. What I love so much about this hand sanitizer in specific is that it smells really nice. It smells fresh, it smells refreshing, it smells like a beautiful forest. It smells so nice. I loved using this. Like, if it was a fragrance, I would wear it. Also, a lot of hand sanitizers tend to dry out your hands and they feel kind of gross and like cracky and just generally dried out. This hand sanitizer, I found, does the exact opposite. It actually moisturizes your hands. So it's a moisturizer, it's a hand sanitizer, which is fantastic. Most hand sanitizers I find also smell quite gross. They smell like alcohol, they smell bitter, some of them smell like plastic, like they just don't smell great, which is why I love this hand sanitizer. Another great thing about it is how beautiful it is. Look at the packaging. And it had sanitizer in it. It also looked beautiful. It was elegant, and also it is flat. So it is easy to put it into your handbag, with your purse, or in your pocket. I found that with the round hand sanitizers, it was difficult to find my purse and other things that I had in my bag. But with this, it's easy to keep everything organized and compact and nice. And like I said, it's also easy to put it in your pocket. You can just slide it in. It's great. So these are some products that I received from the brand. They are amazing. I'm going to be testing them over the next few weeks. So this is a cool muscle rub. So it's for when you are in pain, it's effective for after workouts, and of course it soothes sore muscles. This is perfect for me, and when I'm done with a hectic leg day or a hectic gym session, as I run a lot and I cycle a lot, so this is actually perfect. I have the same for a heat muscle rub. This is great for after workouts, while this is good for before and after workouts. I'm very excited to use them. This is a Swiss fragrance, and this is also a Swiss fragrance. They both smell amazing. I prefer this one. It smells more natural, like a forest again. It smells beautiful. And this one smells more girly. It's also a very beautiful smell. They both are fantastic, and I'm actually wearing this one right now. This is Sunblock 50 SPF, which is absolutely great for me because I wear sunblock every single day. When I leave the house, I am wearing sunblock on my face. I do not leave the house without wearing sunblock, even in winter. So this probably won't last very long, and I will have to get a new one pretty soon. This is Cooling After Sun, which is obviously fantastic for now because it is summer. I've already burned twice on my shoulders just by walking around. So this is going to come very much in handy, especially in this heat. This is a hydrating mist. I've always wanted to try hydrating mist. For some reason, I just never did, but I've always wanted to. So I'm very happy that I now finally have one that I can use, and I'm gonna let you guys know how it works and what I think of it. It also primes and tones your skin, which is obviously a great benefit. So I'm going to be reviewing these products for the next few weeks, and I will let you know what they are like. So let's get straight into it. So we all know that 2020 wasn't the easiest year, and for many of us it wasn't the most fun year. But I think that 2020 came with a lot of important lessons. At least for me, a large part of it was actually quite life-changing. So I've been reflecting on 2020 with the first month of 2021 and also part of this Feb. I think this video will only be released at the end of Feb though. So one of the main things that happened in 2020 is that I kind of questioned where I wanted to take my social media presence, and I became more career driven, and I started to build my personal brand more, and I started to be more active on social media in general. I started a TikTok account, I started this YouTube now, I started my website, and yes, I've just generally been more active on social media. I've been posting more on Instagram, been posting at least 3 times a week, and I went up from 8,000 followers to 11,000 followers. The key driving point towards that, I think, was the fact that all of the outside distractions were removed. We weren't allowed to go out and socialize, we weren't allowed to go out to eat, we weren't allowed to go out. I lost my waitressing job. Things changed. All of the outside distractions were gone. And there's only so much Netflix that you can do without getting bored. So eventually I got bored. I started doing things that I had been considering and wanting to do for a while. I started working with more brands. Like I said, I started posting more. I started getting out there more. For one, I branched out into a completely new field and I started investing, mostly long-term investments, but I also learned about day trading. I've read lots of books on it, on mainly long-term investing and the financial market. I did courses on it. I watched hours worth of YouTube videos on it. There's a lot of helpful people on YouTube, and hopefully I will make a video on this too sometime once I feel like I know more. At the end of last year, I even made my first investment. I kind of dabbled a bit in day trading. I didn't make any significant losses and I mostly made gains, but I still find it a very time-consuming hobby. I don't know, a very time consuming occupation. So I find that because I am a full-time student, long-term investing works best for me. I've always had a love for sports. Since I was a very young teen, I've been very into running. I started cycling when I was 17. I started swimming when I was 17. I did a sprint triathlon. I've been doing half marathons since I was 16. I've been going to the gym since I was 13, and I actually started lifting last year. I've stopped now because of lockdown, and I haven't really gotten back into it because I've been loving my cardio and lifting once a week. But I decided that it was time for me to learn about how my body functions. So when I was done with my university work for the day, I would do a course. The course was about how the body functions, what your body goes through when you do sport. It was basically sports sciences, like the mechanisms of the body, how the body breaks down energy, how the body breaks down oxygen. It was very interesting and I loved it. I also had to become quite innovative in the ways in which I made money, as I lost my job when lockdown happened, and my boyfriend became very, very ill as we were in lockdown. He wasn't ill with COVID, but he developed, or he showed symptoms of an illness or disorder. I'm not quite sure what to call it. So we were watching a movie one evening. I had made us some cocktails and we were sitting in bed watching Netflix, and suddenly he started feeling dizzy and he had a seizure. This was one of the scariest moments that I had ever had. I honestly thought that he had died because he stopped breathing for a couple of seconds. So I was traumatized. It was truly scary. I honestly thought he was dead. After he had regained consciousness, of course, the first thing I did was contact his family. I wanted to know what I should do. I was scared. I didn't know whether I should contact the ambulance. I'd never witnessed something like this before. Unfortunately, we did not receive much support or help from them. His dad actually just told him to get a grip, which is a very interesting thing to say to someone who has just had a seizure. If I was a parent, I would have been concerned. I would have rushed over to my child the next morning, because at the time we had the time restrictions. And of course, I would have taken them to the doctor or to the hospital. I think that's what any normal parent would do. After the seizure, he did not go back to normal for months after. He was unable to think clearly. He forgot everything that he was doing. He wasn't functioning normally. His body was numb. He was in pain. His limbs were sore. It was hectic, and he had this strange taste of blood in his mouth. It was so strange for me to experience this with him because I felt so powerless. I wanted to help him, but I couldn't. I was sort of forced to take care of him because his family wasn't. He went to go stay with his family for a week. And when he came back, he had lost a lot of weight. I weighed him and he had lost 4 kilograms in 1 week. It was very stressful because I now had to take care of him while I was studying, while I was a full-time student doing my degree, writing exams. I was going crazy. I had to make sure that he ate, that he slept, that he was okay. He really, really had to see a doctor. So because his father was unwilling to pay for one, I now decided that I had to make the money to take him to the doctor so that he would survive and so that he would not have another seizure. We didn't know what was wrong with him. Did he have a tumor? Because months later, this was about 2 months later, he was still experiencing symptoms, and that is not normal. I had had a seizure in the past because my iron levels were too low, and I recovered within a week. 2 weeks later, I was running 2 oceans. So I was very motivated to find a way in which I could make money fast. It was so scary to see him in that state because he had completely lost his sense of reality. He even struggled to talk, and he struggled to divide numbers. He struggled to multiply. He struggled to add numbers. It was truly scary. Eventually, I found a way in which I could make money to take him to the doctor, and the doctor referred him to a neurologist, which I wasn't paid for. Luckily, his brother paid me back after some time because neurologists are quite expensive, and I would never have forgiven myself if something had happened. The doctor put him on meds, and luckily this year in March he is supposed to go for a CAT scan, so I'm very happy about that. 2020 really taught me how to be disciplined and how to focus on my work, how to schedule my work, and how to get everything done, because I was now studying full-time, I was working, I was making money, and I was taking care of my boyfriend. I had to manage my time very well, make sure I was doing everything while also making sure that I was taking care of myself. It really taught me a lot about time management and making time for everything that is important. All in all, 2020 was one of the most difficult and challenging years. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Challenges change you. They force you to look in which direction you want to go. I'm somewhat grateful for 2020. I know that it came with a lot of terrible consequences for a lot of us, for a lot of people, and that is truly heartbreaking. 2020 taught me to be innovative, how to make things happen, how to force myself to make things happen. I don't regret the year, but obviously I do hope that 2021 comes with more freedom. I think we all want to see that. 2020 was truly an amazing year in all the opportunities that it gave me, in all the ways I was forced to analyze my life and myself and what I wanted to do. Of course, 2020 also came with a lot of hardships that I don't necessarily regret, but hardships that definitely changed me and my view on the world.